Okay, and welcome to the Clash of Comrades September Showdown Week 1 highlights. So we've got 5 games for you today that we'll be commentating. Our usual casters, Captain Fog and Hunter, are not available, so it'll be myself, Shoefly Pie, and Best Teammaker filling in.
Hello there. How are you guys doing?
Uh, so without further ado, let's
All right.
get into
Let's
some
ex- let
games. Or what?
let's explain what we're doing. Let's explain what we're doing here first and
Alright.
what's going on.
Okay, this month for September Showdown, we're doing a Swiss format for the group stage, and so we've selected a few of the games that were played yesterday to highlight on stream. Um, so the rest of the games, the replays are posted up on Challenge if you want to watch them for yourself. Um, and yeah, so we've got 5 games selected that we're going to be casting. So are you ready to start, Bestie?
I believe our first game of today is going to be okay. It's which should I call him? Cross or Chris? Chris. Chris versus AV Ultima. One day we'll get his name right.
Alright, so we'll be looking at their second game in their series. And starting in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so it looks like for this game, Cedrus started with squirrels, toads, chameleons, ferrets, wolf, and balloon. And AV Ultima has a similar build, except he has lizards instead of toads, and skunks instead of the chameleons. So what do you think of the map here?
Alright, so looking around the map, it's actually very interesting. All the expansions that either player can go for are all on the edges of the map, so there won't be any actual expansion contentions unless both teams decide to commit towards the edges of the map. Otherwise, I feel like we're going to see most of our engagements here in the flatland in the middle with all these, where the trees are, as you can see.
Yeah.
It's like a nice little donut.
Yeah, so these flatlands, there's not many chokes for AV Ultima to use his skunks very effectively.
Well, no, but if Zeros decides to amass a lot of tier 1 units, they can still be pretty effective, especially if he places them like across the river or something, or up on a hilltop.
Alright, so we've seen a bit of divergence in opening builds. AV Ultima went for 8 farms before placing 1 warren, and Cedrus has started 2 warrens before and hasn't built his 8th farm yet. So now he's building his 3rd warren. So he's a bit ahead on his army value, but he's a bit behind on his economy. So if it drags out, he will start to be in a bit of a disadvantage.
There's one sort of advantage to this I've seen some players do, is that they leave that extra farm open just in case it goes to a base race war. And if you can prevent starvation by at least having 1 farm, that's actually a pretty good way. So you sort of lose behind economy in the early game, but if the game ever drags on to late game, it could be pretty darn useful. And considering the builds that both teams are going for, that could be a possibility, especially since there's no like real terrain issues for either side.
Yeah. Another thing to note is Cedrus' base is up on a hilltop, and AV Ultima doesn't have any high ground vision except for balloons in his build, and there isn't really all that nearby for him to get territory to build that balloon. So if he tries to attack, he's going to have to put his commander up there for the vision.
He does have a nice access to cross his bottom entrance. As you can see, there's some slopes that he can cross over there behind where the warrens are. So it's a good way for him to access that base if ever needed. We do see that AV Ultima is going to go for that expansion first right now. And he does have his army all the way going. He's already heading towards that bottom area that I just mentioned, with a huge platoon of lizards and squirrels.
So he takes out a few pigs, and Cedrus is a little slow to respond, but now he's got his chameleon out in front, and it's just hitting all the units and taking 1 shot. And it stealths at 1 HP and gets away. That would have been a huge loss if it went down. But since it stayed up, he's in quite a sizable advantage right now in terms of army value. He did lose 2 farms.
Yeah, if we take a quick look at the army value graph, we can see there's a huge dip where, unfortunately, AV Ultimate just lost a huge number of units there. But he does have the farm to back up, so he can quickly regain those units, so it's not too much of a loss. He did take out 2 farms from Cross, so it is going to damage his economy game.
Yeah. AV Ultimate is a bit ahead expanding economy-wise. Not only did he take out 2 farms, he's also started 2 farms already, whereas Cedros is only now starting his 2nd mill. So if this game goes late, AV Ultima will be in a sizable advantage. But right now, Cedros is coming across the map for a counterattack, and he's got a much larger army value because AV Ultima, instead of rebuilding his army, started expanding economically.
The lizard aggro is messing things up for AV Ultima's army a bit, but he doesn't lose any units there, so that's a little bit lucky for him.
Oh, but Cedros has found the expansion. He's swinging his units on the outside. AV Ultima's a little slow to respond. Some good toad hits, but the mill goes down. And AV Ultima is now in a bit of trouble. His army is mostly picked off, and Cedros still has a reasonable force, but he's going to back off for now and regroup his forces to make a stronger push.
I mean, we're not at the 5-minute point, so AV Ultima still has some farm to work with right now. He is most likely going to try to work back towards getting that mill, another mill up.
He's starting to build a wolf warren right now, so he's going to try to maybe make a final push with that wolf instead of re-expanding to try to end it on his 1 base.
I'm slightly worried about that because Cross has a lot of toads and he's going for chameleons right now, and that can still deter a lot of tier 1 rush even with the wolf buff.
Yeah, the wolf relies on having a lot of units around him, but if you take out a sizable amount of those units early on with the Toad AoE and the first strike of the chameleons, it can really cripple the amount of damage that the wolf can do.
Oh, I like what Cross is doing here right now. He's at the bottom behind AV Ultima's base, and AV Ultima doesn't notice that, but Cross is going for the warrens at this moment. He's not going to let that wolf come out.
Those warrens
and down go all the warrens.
AV Ultima surrenders. Cedros wins. Alright. So that was a pretty good game.
I think it was a really good call for Cedros to go for toads like that. I think commonly what we see in the meta right now is a lot of people like to build up a lot of tier 1 units, mass them up to death balls, and use a wolf to just power them up. But with Cross bringing toads along, it just stops a lot of that huge mass aggression.
Yeah, he took a bit of a risk building tier 2 units so early in the chameleons, but it really paid off for him because he got full value out of it because it was able to take down units right away, and then it absorbed the maximum amount of damage it could, and before re-stealthing and pulling away, he did a really good job of microing that chameleon to get the best use out of it as he could, and I think it did a lot to stop that early aggression.
Quick thing, Shu. A lot of people are saying that they can see the timer on the stream.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to turn that on.
So, slight spoilers for our viewers, unfortunately, but...
Alright, I'll fix that for this next game.
Yeah, but for those wondering, there's a lot of games here can go pretty darn fast due to the nature of the economy and the units played, so... Not many matches will be that short, probably. Depends on how it plays out. But for our next highlight game, as ShoeFlyPie is getting that ready, we're going to bring up AV Ultima versus Classic Metal. So
this was the 3rd game in their series, so it had been tied up 1-1, and this was the deciding match, so it was both players were feeling rather tense, so let's see how it went. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Alright, do you want to go over the units this time, Bestie?
Yeah, sure. Classic Metal going for only squirrels as his tier 1 units. He's had 3 tier 2 units, chameleons, falcons, and ferrets, and it has the wolf and a sniper balloon. Meanwhile, AV Ultima going 3 tier 1 units instead with the lizards, squirrels, and toads. While he has ferret as his tier 2s, wolf as his tier 3, and sniper balloon as well. So both trying to take advantage of any sort of vision here.
Alright, so looking at the map, it looks like Classic Metal has this little fortress of his own right here of very high ground with cliffs and water surrounding everything, and he's got 2 bases on it, so, I mean, that second expansion will be very secure for him. But,
I'm slightly worried about Classic Metal's tempo for this game because he only has squirrels to work with for the time being, which, it works very well. But AV Ultima has a choice of lizards, squirrels, and toads to go out, so if he sees Classic Metal mass a lot of squirrels, he can just counter that pretty easily, and it's going to still take a while for the tier 2 units to come online.
yeah. And AV Ultima is building mostly lizards right now, and lizards fare very well against squirrels in most situations. The high ground could be a bit of an issue for him pushing into the squirrels. Since, he doesn't have high ground vision to work with. So
I just don't think that AV Ultima can actually assault this base. It's just how enclosed it is.
yeah. On the flip side, he can contain him fairly easily because there's only one entrance to it, and there's a mill right in front of it. So AV Ultima is bringing some lizards in. He's going to start an assault. Their armies are fairly even, though. Oh, he's taking that base. So he's just going to try to hold Classic Metal in this little area and play the long game, keeping him confined to 2 bases while he has 5 bases to build on. So if this game goes late, AV Ultima could have a sizable economic lead.
I mean, if he can try some sort of weird sneak play by wading through the little marsh area, he could probably take AV Ultima by surprise, but this is not looking great for Classic Metal straight off the bat. AV Ultima just definitely going for the contain. He's already putting down a sniper balloon there.
So Classic Metal is starting his expansion too, hoping to build up a bit more of a force to try to break through that point. But if he waits too long, AV Ultima just could have an unstoppable army with his larger economy advantage.
Alright. It does look like Classic Metal is working towards getting as many farms as he can possible. I'm slightly worried that he's doing this right now, because again, he only has these 2 expansions to work with. So if he ends up starving out because he's rushing these farms so fast, this could be really bad for him. But at the same time, he's saving 1 farm, so...
Yeah, and AV Ultima has done something really smart here. Instead of putting his economic expansion on this forward base that could get taken down if Classic Metal puts... He takes the one all the way in the bottom corner to build his expansion on. So even if Classic Metal tries to go and assault that base, it'd be so far out of the way that AV could sneak back and hit his main. So Classic Metal doesn't really have a chance to hurt AV's economy right now.
Okay, so Classic Metal is going to be going for the Falcons. So what he could do is just sneak attack with Falcons. All he has to do is get his commander around the entire map, and because Falcons just fly over any terrain, that could be his way into attacking AV Ultima if AV Ultima doesn't recognize he has Falcons.
Yeah. AV Ultima, on the other hand, has started a wolf building, and Classic Metal has started his own wolf. So we're going to see some wolf battles going in. Right now, Classic Metal has a bit of a larger army. See if AV Ultima can catch up in the army value before that happens.
He is amassing a lot of tier 1 units right now. I will say, despite him having 3 expansions, he's not going for any farm at all. He's just going for expansion taking.
Yeah, I think he's trying to block off Classic Metal from doing any sneaky expansions, that he just doesn't have to pay attention to that side of the map, and he can focus solely on this point without having to worry about Classic Metal doing a sneaky expansion and hitting him with a backdoor.
But look how much food that Classic Metal is just having for himself, because he's just focusing on getting his own economy. Like I said earlier, that this could be an issue for him.
Is that Classic Metal is sitting on 400 food, and you think, why isn't he spending it? Well, he doesn't have much room left to build. I don't think he has any available locations to build warrens left, because he had some suboptimal warren placements over here at the north of his initial base, and he'd have to sell some of those to reposition them better to be able to put down more units.
AV Ultima has his wolf at the ready.
Yeah. Plus, he's got another sniper balloon at that choke.
With Classic Metal, he's gonna go for 2 wolves. You know,
Yeah. I mean,
gotta beat them with numbers.
I think he knows he's on the back door, so he needs a brute force to push through this and get out of this container, or else he'll starve out eventually. Oh, his commander goes down. His units aren't being controlled right now.
Here we go. The first wolf buff is on.
Oh, I think AV Ultima is cleaning this up because Classic Metal just could not command his units.
Yep, there we go. The last of the squirrels is down. AV Ultima has definitely won this battle here.
Yeah, huge losses for Classic Metal in that fight. But he already has his second wolf back up, and he's going for a fight right again. He's going to push back. And I don't think AV Ultima was expecting this. His army's back, but Classic Metal thinks better of it and does not engage yet. He's waiting for all of his units to produce. And he's going to go in now. His buff goes up
this
first.
time it's... And this time AV Ultima was the one who wasn't really on the battlefield quite yet. And the Falcons are just doing so much work. They're just tearing into AV Ultima's army right now. They're finally down, but that was a lot of damage. And the squirrels still remain relatively unharmed on the side of Classic Metal.
Yeah, I think AV Ultima had his wolf too far back. And by the time he got his wolf buff off, about half of his units had already died from Classic Metal's wolf. And now Classic Metal's second wolf is back, and he has army left to push through with a double wolf buff and just wipes out the remaining of AV's army.
Oh my gosh, the double wolf buff, even though like AV Ultima was able to get his wolf buff off first, it's just not enough manpower at all. And Classic Metal is just ripping into this mill without any remorse.
So
that's one down. Still
and AV just doesn't have any warrens left because he had all his warrens on the front line. So he can't reinforce to contest Classic Metal's
no,
army.
the wolf! The wolf was walking path in the wrong direction! Instead of going down, he just went to the side and just allowed Classic Metal to just take it out instantly.
Yeah, AV just doesn't have the warrens to be able to reinforce enough to contest this army. Classic
3 left.
Squirrels streaming in, and he has constant reinforcements. And AV Ultima just lost his last warren except for his wolf. I think he's done.
This is it. He has enough food, but they're not going to build in time, and he's just hunting down all the expansions at this point right now. There's nothing AV Ultima can actually do to stop this. He's going to go for one last ditch attempt to defend this last expansion down the bottom where he actually has farm. But here comes Classic Metal knocking on the door of AV Ultima.
He's going to take out these ones before they have a chance to reduce anything. This is game. Classic Metal, with his back against the wall, pushes out with the strength of the double wolf. And I think he just caught AV Ultima off guard.
And that's going to be game. Classic Metal will take this game in what should have been a one-sided match for AV Ultima, but holy crap, he just turned that one around.
Yep. Alright, so let's get to our...
Quick thing, people are noticing that the FPS of the stream is really low for some reason.
Is it? Alright. Well, I'm not that great with OBS, so...
What's your bitrate streaming at? You might want to drop it down.
Yeah.
Like, go to your settings. Settings, encoding.
It's,
like, what do you have your...
2500 bitrate right now.
Are you lagging in-game, or is it not lagging for you?
No, it's not lagging in-game.
Try dropping it down to 2000 and change the video to 30 FPS.
Yeah, it's already 30.
Okay, yeah, we'll just try with those settings and see if the FPS on the stream improves. Right. Guys in chat, just let us know if we have some FPS issues still. I think they're also saying that we should probably put the game down to low quality so that it has less chance of stuttering.
Alright. I think I have to restart the game to do that.
Alright.
I'll just go forward.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking a quick break as we get our streams back up. We will be back for some more games. stay tuned.
Oh, I was just gonna go into it without bothering, or is it that bad?
Well, I mean, you know.
Alright. We'll try this next one with the lower bitrate. If it's still a problem, I'll restart the game with the lower setting. Alright. So the next game is LeConte versus 2Flower in their first game of this set. You ready?
Alright, you got it back up? Okay, so let me... So, LeConte versus 2Flower.
Yep.
Game 2 or 1?
Game 1.
Alright. Ready?
Alright. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so what do their armies look like, Bestie?
Alright, so 2Flower going for pigeons and squirrels. Ferrets as his tier 2s, Badger as his tier 3, and going for barbed wire and sniper balloon. Meanwhile, LeConte going for a pretty similar build, going for pigeons and squirrels as well, but going for double tier 2s, skunks and snakes, it looks like. Fox will be his tier 3, and he's going to go for the machine gun nest as his building. Pretty interesting setup here.
Yeah. So looking at the map, it's pretty much constrained to the top corner of the map. The bottom area doesn't really... pretty out of the way, so someone could get a sneaky base down there and hide it for a while, but I think the action will mostly be in this top corner. Both players have mirrored starts at the moment, both going up to 7 farms and building a warren. Yeah, players just scouting around the map. Let's look at visibility to see what each of them have scouted.
Alright, so I'm looking at their unit composition, and it's actually pretty interesting right now. If 2Flower can actually get barbed wire up in certain places, it actually can stop LeConte's push pretty cold. Because he has no units that can counter barbed wire.
Yeah, LeConte's build looks like it's mostly about taking short engagements with the damage over time from the skunks and snakes, and healing up with pigeons in between fights. And then if he gets up to that fox to poke away.
So 2Flower is going to be going for that expansion first, just making sure he has the economy up. He has 9 scores at the ready. Meantime, LeConte going for the tier 2 already, setting up his skunk, just seeing if he has to be careful for any tier 1 rushes. See if he can go for area denial. I mean, if LeConte plays this one pretty smartly, he has like a ton of expansion on his side of the map that he can decide to fall back to.
So LeConte started building some pigeons, but thought better of it. Let's see what he's going to spend that food on instead. He's just going to start building more
squirrels.
He needs the... he decides he needs the raw damage output to keep up with what 2Flower's got. Because 2Flower's got his sniper balloons up, so he's sectioned off LeConte from most of the map with that sniper balloon. He could go the long way around through the water on the bottom side, but fighting through water is not the best idea. You really only want to do that if you have to.
Or if you can just go for the really sneaky plays. Like, that sniper balloon won't detect them going to the water, but in either case, it's not going to be easy for LeConte to actually press forward on this.
So he does start building some snakes, which can poison that. If they get one tag on that sniper balloon, it'll go down. So we'll see if he can make use of that. But it looks like 2Flower's going to push in a little. No, he was just aggressively positioning. He's dancing
slowly
around.
but steadily trying to approach the army.
Yeah.
He has the ferrets up though, so he does have some nice long-range damage on his side.
Yes, he really should start doing something aggressive, because LeConte's put his money into expanding economically. And so if he just waits for that investment to recoup, then LeConte will be in the advantage.
Now 2Flower, not really... Okay, there we go. Now he's going to be pushing on forward. LeConte nowhere near his army. He just burrowed back to his base, but now they're going to move on forward, and the skunk seems to be doing a lot for him right now. There's just a solid layer of gas here, just preventing 2Flower from advancing.
Pull his units out of the gas, and so they took a lot of damage from the gas. If he had just kited back a little bit, he probably could have saved some of those squirrels.
Bit of a misplay coming out from Two Flower, it seems. I think he was trying to see if he can just outnumber LeConte's army there, but he just wasn't able to do it in time, and LeConte was able to come back to command his army. Yeah. And now he is coming for the revenge.
Yeah, the poison's on to go down. Balloon. Oh, and that gas is just cutting.
Oh no!
Down all those squirrels.
The units are just walking into the skunk gas right now. Two Flower. Does he notice this? He's losing units just to the skunk gas alone.
Alright, those warrens get tagged. He sells one of them so he doesn't lose too much money. But all these reinforcements are just wandering through that thick cloud of skunk gas, and they arrive to the fight at half health and don't get much done before they die.
I mean, I talked about like Two Flower had barbed wire on his side, but I mean, LeConte, all he needs is just a nice, firm
Two Flower has a badger out.
Line.
Let's see if this badger can do work. So LeConte is pressing in. Two Flower is bringing his badger around the side, trying to avoid that skunk gas, and now he's chasing down with a fully wound up badger, and he's just picking off the retreating units of LeConte.
The skunk just got taken out by the
badgers is doing a lot of work. Oh, the badger gets tagged by the snake. It's going down. He tries to pull it back. It's gonna die. It's gonna die.
It's dead. So like when he
brings it back into the range of a pigeon. Ah! It's gonna live. It's gonna live.
Oh, the pigeon saved him.
Hero pigeon.
I was really worried because he was also walking through the skunk gas as well. So I was like, oh crap, he's gonna die even faster.
Oh, but LeConte is pushing in before that badger's gonna have a chance to heal up.
The poison ticking, I think, is almost done though. And there we go.
Oh, but it gets taken down.
Well, it was good while it lasted.
Yes. And there's the surrender.
That's it. Oh, the badger plays.
That was exciting, but LeConte read the situation right and took down the badger before it had a chance to heal up.
All right. So what's our next game then? We're gonna highlight.
All right. Now we've got Master Stealth, Lord of Cheese against Lowell Steamroller.
Oh jeez. Game 1?
Game 1.
Alright, so for those who don't know, Master Stealth is one of the developers of this game.
Oh.
So, he is very well known for his cheese. Fine selection of aged cheese. Alright, you ready?
Yep, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Alright, Master Stealth versus Lowell Steamroller. Here we go.
Alright, so Master Stealth has brought moles this time around, something that we haven't seen anybody else do yet. So moles are a great unit. Oh, he sells one of his farms. He's going to do something sneaky right away.
Is this the mole rush?
No, he builds a mill instead.
Whoa!
So he's gonna go for an aggressive contain, maybe?
Holy crap.
He's doing something aggressive. I don't think Steamroller has seen this quite yet. He rolls back.
I mean, no one expects that.
I'm not sure he saw that.
He has to notice that there are no farms on Master Stealth built, so he has to be very worried now.
He sells one of his farms and he builds it again, and then he sells it. All right, he sold his farms, and he starts building a squirrel warren.
The pig sees a machine gun
turret.
The machine gun nest is just killing the poor pig that saw everything happen before it could do anything. Oh, poor pig.
And he's also got a squirrel warren, so he's got the proxy squirrel is gonna push in. So he's got one squirrel built. Lowell Steamroller has two.
This is really bad because he's not at the point yet in this economy where he can just sustain against a machine gun nest that close to his base. And the squirrels now just have free reign to kill the farms.
Because Master took out 2 farms and Lowell Steamroller had sold 2 of his building farms, Master Stealth is actually ahead on economy now. He burrows back to keep up his economy a bit.
The cheese is real here. I mean, I think for a bit of scouting could have helped Lowell Steamroller, but I mean, you don't expect anyone to take an expansion that close to you.
Or
it helps
early.
it helps that it's behind this terrain here, so
Yeah.
he can sneak around behind the trees. But man, that is some fine cheese here.
All right, so let's see. All right, so let's see where things like, oh, maybe this mill is just going to be done. Maybe I'll just have to expand a little further back. But
I think at this point he needs to sell one of his warrants to at least get an extra farm or two, because there's no way he can defend against this. No, he's just going to sell the mill instead. So he's not going to think about expanding yet.
He needs more army to be able to defend against Master Stealth's post. So he's building pigeons. So he's hoping that maybe the pigeons can stall out these squirrels. But Master Stealth, he's going to build some moles to go in for a game-ending push right here.
This is... Oh, this is brutal. This is brutal. The moles are going in. They're just taking a lot of damage right now. They're going straight for the mill right now.
So half of Master's units are attacking the mill and half are attacking units. And I think that hurt him a lot here because he lost a lot of his units. I think he should have focused on the units first. But since, you know, some of his damage was wasted on the mill and some on units, he just had really inefficient allocation of damage. Now he's building a sniper balloon, though.
This it just keeps on going. And it's gonna be at the point where, because the structures are just in front of the base like this, it just effectively shuts off any movement towards that area.
Yeah. I mean, Little Steamroller does have a path out, but it's a long way around. If he tries to go around, Master Stealth will just come in and finish off his base without any resistance. So he has to stay here.
Oh, I do not want to be a Little Steamroller's head right now. This is like, what do I do? I'm stuck here in this corner of the map. I want to get out of here.
So he knows he can't rebuild those farms anymore because of that sniper balloon, so he's going to expand now. But Master Stealth is building some ferrets. Once those ferrets get up, I don't think there's much that Little Steamroller will be able to do to hold them off.
I mean, Master Stealth, he's just looking around, just making sure that Little Steamroller isn't, you know, straying too far from his base here. I think he does know that the second expansion is up, so Master Stealth might want to think about engaging soon.
Master Stealth is still ahead on economy, so he can play the long game and just threaten, constantly threaten. Oh, he's got the ferrets out now.
This is like water torture, you know? Chinese water torture right here.
So Little Steamroller knows that he has to do something, so he's going to push in. But he doesn't have the force to overcome a machine gun nest, a turret, and only 3 fewer squirrels than he has. He's got his own ferrets now. Maybe try to break out, but I think Master has the larger army at this point.
That mill's dead.
That mill's dead. Little Steamer sitting on one farm. He's got to make do with what he's got because he's not catching up in economy anymore.
I mean, this is as good as GG in this case. How do you come back from this? You only have 1 farm to your name. You need to sell off. You have to sell off something, but at the same time, you can't because you still need to defend yourself.
Master Stealth is trying to play this slow. He's not on a lot of economy himself either, so he wants to be careful not to make any mistakes. So he's pushing in slow, trying to get value from his ferrets.
We are at the past the 5 minute mark, so basically a lot of the farms are gone already from Master Stealth, but I don't think he really cares at this point. He knows he has Little Steamroller up against the wall right now.
Yeah. So I mean, he lost a lot of units in the last fight, so he has to wait to regroup and reinforce before he can push again. But he's got a 2 farm advantage, and he had a farm lead for a long time, so he's accrued a good amount of food lead. So he's not the one under pressure, so he can keep Little Steamroller stuck in one place because Little Steamroller can't leave without losing the game, basically.
Oh well, another warrant's gonna go down, so he's gonna sell it just in time to get some extra money, but
that just means he only has 3 squirrels and 1 ferret to defend his mill.
I think you just let it die, so at least you keep the squirrels, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, Master Stealth is just hanging around this area just to make sure he doesn't try to do anything sneaky, but what can he do at this point?
I think Master Stealth might be in the best interest to just sell his defensive structures to build more units to push in, but I think he's got enough force right now to end this game.
Just...
Alright, he takes out the ferret. He takes out the squirrel.
Gone.
Everything's gone.
It's gone. That's game.
This is the game.
He's gonna sit by.
Pulls out the cheese.
Oh, that was torture to watch, really. We're gonna. So I think we should let Lowell Steamroller redeem himself.
All right.
You know?
Should we show another game from the same series?
I mean, I think we need to, just so Lowell Steamroller can feel good about himself, right?
All right. So we'll go with game 2 from that series. Yeah, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, nice dark and stormy map for this one. You can feel the anger from Lowell Steamroller. In any case, unit composition. Here we go. Lowell Steamroller going for the triple tier 1s of pigeons, squirrels, and toads, followed by ferrets, wolf, and sniper balloon for the rest of his units. Meanwhile, Master Stealth going for the moles, squirrels again. He has falcons and ferrets by his side.
He sold his first farm again, and he keeps on placing it
down.
Oh,
no.
So he's trying to play mind games. He's playing mind games.
He goes for that early expansion too, but Lowell Steamroller sees it this time, and then he's going to sell it again.
Master Stealth is just playing games with Lowell Steamroller's head. It's like, remember what I did to you last time? I might do it again.
And what's even better is that Master Stealth has mines, so he can just pile on the surprise even more against Lowell Steamroller.
Oh, and he places one mine at the entrance of that bridge. Lowell Steamroller does see it building this.
Yeah, but he has another one at the entrance of another bridge down the bottom, so he has the bombs ready. Let's see if he can get the units up in time. Meanwhile, Lowell Steamroller going for 6 squirrels right now, and this is a very interesting map.
I think Lowell Steamroller was scared from the last game and built warrens on 5 farms to make sure, like, you're not going to rush me this time, Master. I'm prepared.
I want to talk about the map a bit. This is very interesting. This river is just neatly dividing this map into 2 parts right now. Yeah. Just like World War I trenches right here.
Yeah. Equal mills on either side, and they're like lined up right across from each other. If this game goes long, it could be rather interesting.
I think like I saw a game with a map similar to this, and one of the teams, it was a 2v2 map, and one of the teams put up artillery to try to harass, but unfortunately didn't work out in the end. But it was a very interesting approach to this kind of river map. And what is Master Stealth doing? He's trying to put his units in front of that bridge. I think he's just blocking it off even more.
Yeah, so I think he might be trying to bait Lowell Steamroller into going over that mine, maybe. If Lowell Steamroller tries to take that fight, he'll get hit by the mine, and then Master Stealth units will be able to clean the remains up.
He's going to go for the early ferrets, too.
So he's going to try to do some pressure play with the ferrets. Try to force Lowell Steamroller to come into the mine.
I mean, he knows the mine is there, so there's no point of him goading in that way. Maybe he's trying to force him. Oh, he's just gonna go with the water.
Trying to avoid the mine, but
the pigeons though. The pigeons reveal vision, and that's not great. And the squirrels are just firing away.
Yeah, Master Stealth wasn't around, and so his units weren't grouped up firing on the same target. And so, because their firing was spread out, the pigeons could heal it off easily. And so Master Stealth just takes heavy losses without getting anything in return. But now he's got his ferret out now. See if he can make use of it. He's built a turret, but it's a bit far back because of that mill's farming area. He can't place it any further forward. But that machine gun nest isn't really doing anything for him unless Steamroller tries to push in, but I don't think he will.
Another thing is that Lowell Steamroller is still building up his tier 1 army, and in terms of raw numbers, it beats Master Stealth by far number.
Yeah. And he's building up a sniper balloon along that bridge, so Master Stealth is going to have a harder time posturing in that area. So he's going to have to come around or just go brute force through the balloon.
He sees the balloon now and realizes that, He does decide to take that mill, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that because I wouldn't want to expand on that economically because it's pretty far forward on the front lines, and it doesn't really give him any territory worth building on because the territory will just expand into that river. It's not going to give him anywhere else to build his structures.
Oh, as you can see, he has some tiles to work with, but that's like way into the side of low steamroller side of the map.
So he is going to do some farms on the back end of it.
He's committing to it. I mean, that's brave, I have to say.
Low steamroller puts down a wolf.
Oh!
And
Look what
he's bringing his ferrets. He's bringing his ferrets around the side. Stealth has to react. He does have the high ground vision.
He can't get there though because the wall is just blocking the path, and the ferrets can just calmly shoot from back there. The only way he can go down is go through the river, but there's no way for him because the sniper bullets didn't reveal his positioning there. He's gonna put his own ferrets on the side as well to try to get some fire, but the Falcons are coming in as well. But Low Steamroller gets the vision game first on his side. The Falcons are gone on Massive Stealth side, and wow.
Massive Stealth pushes him off just by having his warrens closer so he can reinforce quicker, but
it definitely like scares Massive Stealth here because now he has to worry about being flanked from this side.
Low Steamroller hasn't put down any farms yet, though. He's just starting to build one, but he hasn't saved enough food for it yet, so Massive Stealth is ahead economically.
He has the wolf coming, though.
Yeah, the wolf is almost up.
And I should mention, Massive Stealth doesn't have any Tier 3 units, so with the mass amount of units that Low Steamroller is building up, plus the wolf with the buff, plus the ferrets in the back shooting, and the pigeon supporting, it's going to be kind of tough for Massive Stealth to actually fight off. He's gonna go for a third expansion though, just in case something bad happens.
That wolf is up. Let's see where Low Steamroller decides to make his attack. He's starting to position forward. He's gonna peck at that building farm and forces Massive Stealth to sell it.
I think he doesn't lose that much money. Oh no, Massive Stealth, don't run away. He's just gonna run away from the mill completely. He's gonna go around. He's gonna go.
He's going for the base race. He's going for the base race.
It's a base race. He's gonna go away, but Low Steamroller already takes out one. He's going to go for the warrens. The machine gun net's trying to do its best, but it's only one machine gun net. It's not doing that much damage, and the pigeons are just healing right now. At the meantime, Massive Stealth trying to take out this base as well. That one's gone. Low Steamroller only has one left, but at the same time, so does Massive Stealth. And now who gets to the mill first? Low Steamroller has to find where the expansion is.
He's wasting time on the warrens. Both players find the mills, but Low Steamroller has the wolf. He's going to burn through this a bit quicker.
Oh my god, there it is! Low Steamroller takes the game in a last-minute base race.
Rasta had half the health remaining on his base to take down, and he had another backup base halfway building, but it wasn't enough. Whew. That was an intense way to end.
I think the pure firepower coming out from Low Steamroller in that game, there was no way that Massive could have won that base race unless he knew where all the mills were, but he never had time to scout on the other side of the map. So it took him a lot of time to go upwards to see where all those other expansions were.
Yeah, and
that just helped.
Commented on, it looked like both sides had an even number of mills on each side. The one mill on the left on Master's side was really more on Low Steamroller's side because the access to it was easier to get to for Low Steamroller, and he used that to great advantage to pressure with his ferrets.
Alright, I think this deserves a game through. We have to see what Massive Stealth needs to pull out under his hat, you know?
That game wasn't worth watching. I'll just say it right now.
Well, let's find out what happens then.
I can just tell you, Massive Stealth tries to mole rush, fails, and surrenders at 3 minutes.
Well,
it's not worth watching.
Alright, well, that's going to be it for now, it looks like. Right?
Yep. So
unless you want to do...
Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the lack of the usual polish of the Clash of Comrades streams. Had to put this together last minute when some people couldn't be available, but tune in next week and we'll have your usual Clash of Comrades polish and Captain Fogg and Hunter and LeConte will be back, and we'll watch some more great games of Tooth and Tail.
And also, I'll be streaming some of the matches when I get time to do it, so we can have full VODs up of each match if possible. So we're going to do our best to make sure you guys get as much content as possible. But yeah, stay tuned for more. This was week 1 of September Showdown. We still have some matches still ongoing for this week. A lot of them have been pretty exciting. And we'll stay tuned for next week as we head into the next series of games soon.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.